Hi Virgo, welcome to this reading. This is for Virgo Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Wow, okay, King of Pentacles, so maybe you're feeling pretty good, standing in your earthy energy here. Okay, Queen of Cups reversed. I wonder if it's something like your life, your 3D reality is very good. You might be in a good position with work or your pursuit, something like that, your home, but you're not feeling completely emotionally fulfilled. We have the Devil in reverse, Capricorn here. Okay, and we have another King of Pentacles, but reversed. Another way, yeah. So the first message I'm seeing is there is something about your foundation, whether it's work, home, whatever you spend your time doing, the environment you're quite often in, even if it's not home. Something about that that's one of those things that you want to change. It's not completely satisfying. It could even be how you're living or how you're dividing up or having through necessity to divide up your time. Some transition you want to make. I'm noticing in this depiction of the King of Pentacles, we've got the stag with the coins. In this one, we have all of the flowers. So I wonder if you want to move into maybe a more kind of natural way of living, using products that have less chemicals or something, or if it's just more broadly speaking about doing things because they bring you pleasure or resonate with your soul or something like that, versus I do this because society says I need to fulfill my responsibilities, to earn my money, you know, that sort of thing. The other way I can look at these cards is that you could be dealing with someone, Virgo, who could also be an earth sign. They don't have to be, but there's a way in which it seems you might not be completely compatible in terms of your outlook, how you view relationships or responsibilities, that sort of thing, or you're very similar, almost too similar in some ways, and you might find that you keep clashing, and you understand that there could be an incredible amount of potential with this person, with the Queen of Cups, but as it's reversed, it's like you're finding it difficult to emotionally connect with each other because you kind of both want to lead. Not only do we have two court cards that are talking about pentacles here, but they're both kings. It's like, it's not even a king and a queen, we both want to be the King of Pentacles and you can't both be at the same time. With the Devil reversed, I think this connection and the similarities, even sometimes the friction that the extreme similarities create, can be, I just heard an aphrodisiac. So very, and look at that, 5 of Wands. See how she's playing that game of chess though? There's something tantalizing and tempting about this, but in a practical sense, it's difficult to move ahead with one another. If we are looking at you and someone else here. Okay, what else please? Judgment in the reverse. Yeah, so whether it's the first storyline that applies to you, that you want to transform something about your life, or the second, that you're dealing with someone who's almost a bit too similar in some ways, you're trying to make a almost like a powerful, perhaps firm and final decision about it, but feeling like you haven't yet, or you're not able to just yet. 10 of Wands. I'm hearing something about pieces, missing pieces. You might feel like you need more facts before you can make a decision. 4 of Pentacles reversed. 2 of Wands reversed. Yeah, okay, what's on the back? The Chariot in reverse. We have Cancer energy here, but wow, okay. So there's an incredible pull, whether it's towards making this change and transformation, or whether it's moving forward with this person. And if there's someone else involved, you both feel it. But with the Chariot reversed, it's like you're both pulling. Think of the Rider-Waite Smith deck, because we can't really see it in this one. But that's, even that's significant. It's one woman with this snail. It's just the one snail, theoretically. She's got everything in control, and if we left her to it, she would have. And that's the energy I'm feeling. Both of you want to be in control. But if we think of the Rider-Waite Smith, we've got the 2 sphinxes. It's like each of you is controlling a sphinx and you're trying to pull in different directions. So instead of making that powerful progress towards your destination that you both want to reach, you're kind of saying, let's go left to get there. No, let's go right, and not really making that progress at all. Okay. There's something burdensome here about the way things are, but as I said, very tantalizing, very tempting. This Ten of Wands, we know the Ten of Wands is exhaustion, it's the end of a heavy cycle, it's backbreaking. So the lack of emotional satisfaction, whether it's with a current reality, lifestyle, job, whatever it is, or with this, how things are with this particular person, it's not satisfying. But the burden is made of roses. No, not roses, flowers. Maybe roses are significant because I said it, but I can see tulips here. But of flowers. So it's a burden that sometimes maybe you don't mind carrying, or it's difficult to put it down because there are nice things about it, about this connection, or about the current job you have. Maybe it pays very well, or the current life you're living. But it's a burden nonetheless, even if the burden's made of flowers, not sticks, So I can see why it's difficult. It's like there are pros and cons. And while logically you might understand there's only really one obvious choice, you can't deny the emotional and, I don't know, let's say sacral, like you have a pull towards this person or this situation that you're in at the sacral level, and maybe the solar plexus as well. There's something that's drawing you in. Maybe you even like the sparring a little bit if it's with another person. And with the Four of Pentacles reversed, you might say to yourself, if I was sensible, I'd close myself off to this situation or this person, but here I am, Four of Pentacles reversed, opening myself up, making myself available. I shouldn't do this, but I keep doing it because there's something about this burden that's kind of sweet, that's nice, that's tempting. Okay, so the present situation has a hold on you and you're wanting to transition into the new. Two of Wands reversed. I want to leave my current lifestyle behind and step into the new one. I want to leave the state of this connection with this person behind and for us to move forward into a new way of doing things. Let's see what else Spirit has to say about this. Because I think we need something, we need some insight or some guidance, because I could see you going around in the same cycle over and over and over. And in fact, I think you probably have done several times at least already. King of Pentacles. Oh wow. Okay, Three of Pentacles. So now we're talking about teamwork. I mean, of course, if it's with someone else, it might be saying, okay, you can lead the chariot for the next half an hour, and then I'll take over for half an hour, and then you can have it back. In some ways, because the King of Pentacles as an energy is someone who is very competent, very successful, driven, reliable, all of those things, and they've become the King of Pentacles because they're able to be diligent and committed and plan. So maybe both of you are used to performing that role in situations, relationships, friendships, and it's unusual to find someone who can also step up in that way as well. So it's difficult to relax and to let them lead sometimes, but finding ways, even if it's small ways, to just say, okay, I know you've got this, so I'm going to try and be more hands-off than I usually would, and working together in that sense. If this is not about another person and it's about changing something up and becoming a different kind of very well manifested King of Pentacles grounded energy, it could be about having some sort of overlap, or trying to find a way initially to get your current reality to blend with this new reality that you're manifesting without just cutting one off and trying to start another. So let me take that example again of, I want to move into using products that feel more natural or something like that, or have fewer chemicals. Maybe instead of just chucking out everything you currently have and then being stuck about what do I get to replace these things, you start, when something runs out, you buy something new, but it's something that's more organic or pure with its ingredients, and you have that blend, but not being so tough on yourself as to say, okay, I have to do everything right now. If it's a work situation, maybe you decrease your hours if you're able to part-time or something like that, whilst you invest in whatever else this is in the days that you're not working. If it's retirement maybe, or something like that, you know, maybe it feels kind of alarming to just go straight into full retirement. Maybe you do ease back, scale back, you know, just do it a few days a week or something like that. Or maybe I have a friend who, when he first retired, he was semi-retired, and he was sort of around, like a phone call away to be a consultant, you know, if they needed him to come in or something like that. So he didn't just completely let everything go. He knew his value was still recognised and appreciated, and he would be called upon if they needed him, you know, that sort of thing. So having some sort of connection to the past as you move into the present. Okay, 5 of Cups. Yes, 5 of Cups. So normally we're looking at the spilled cups, but there are 2 upright cups behind us. So this card's all about perspective. So it's about a perspective shift. So I don't think you need to do anything alarmingly, you know, crazy in terms of action, or cutting someone off or cutting something off. I think it's just about seeing it a bit differently, and finding some wiggle room or ways to get these 2 opposing energies or situations to be able to work together with a bit more ease. 6 of Wands reversed. We have the Knight of Cups reversed with the Knight of Wands. Let's clarify that. 6 of Wands reversed. Judgment. Ah, there we go. There's your answer. Okay, so the answer isn't... And this is why you may have been struggling with it, because you're almost asking yourself the wrong question. The answer isn't, do I stick with how things are, or do I make a big cut, a big change, go through a death cycle and transition into the new? You're struggling maybe to make that cut or decide one way or another, because that's not the right focus really, as far as Spirit's concerned, for the greatest success here. The question really is, how can I... You know, 3 of Pentacles, how can I get the past to work better with the future and the present? How can I get on better with this person? How can we keep this really juicy, delicious, tempting, fiery energy we have, but also make practical, stable, tangible steps forward as well? And the change in perspective also is, it's almost looking past the ego. And the ego is, you know, the ego is trying to work for us to keep us safe. The ego tells us, this is how you do this. You're not the sort of person who does that. It might be trying to get around the ego that's almost limiting your perspective, and trying to come up with new ways of making the situation more harmonious. So maybe you never thought you would be the sort of person that, you know, took your hands off the wheel and let someone else drive. But maybe that's because in the past you haven't met anyone who was responsible enough to be trusted to hold the wheel. Now you've met someone, you can kind of say to your ego, well, maybe I've never been that person in the past, but there was good reason and I can be now. So I'm going to try it, you know? Okay. Yeah, maybe I've always thought, and how I've always done things, is that when I'm done with something, it's done. Then I move into the new thing. But maybe with this particular situation, there needs to be a bit of an overlap. And just because I can't immediately dive 100% into the new thing doesn't mean it's not successful. It's just a different approach. So yes, if you have been really struggling to make some sort of decision or take action, I think it's because maybe you need to adapt your question a little bit to get the right answer, if you see what I mean. Okay, so let's get some oracle cards for you. Let's start with the archangel messages. Look at this, relationship harmony. Yeah, this is about creating more harmony here. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Okay, so there are answers available, but it's, you know, you've got to ask the right questions to yourself to find them, I think. Okay, so an animal spirit guide message, please, for Virgo. Octopus. Wow, look at this. Practice shape-shifting. Yeah, by altering your physical appearance and mannerisms. So perhaps this is a change to do with your physical appearance, and it's step by step. You know, you don't have to throw out your whole wardrobe before you buy the new one. Just, you know, you can overlap. But practice shape-shifting. Yes, I think this is about blending things together. Blending the past and the present. Blending, excuse me, your skills with this other person's skills, or your capability with this other person's, rather than banging heads, because you're both capable. Practice shape-shifting. Yeah. And I also think it's something about your ego and beliefs about yourself, opinions about yourself, that may have been getting in the way without you even realizing. You know, well, I'm the sort of person who does this, but I don't